Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Cumberland School
We
Committee's...
can barely hear you, and I'm standing right here. Do you have any sort of amplification?
I'm sorry, what? I heard the barely hear you. What'd you say after that?
Is this being, I'm sorry, I just literally can't hear you. Do you have any sort of microphone or amplification?
I don't.
We don't.
And why not?
Go ahead, Ms. Vogel.
Okay, if we're gonna be like that, it'll be a long meeting.
Call to order the Cumberland School Committee special meeting today, Wednesday, June 18th, 2025, at the Cumberland High School Transitional Building at 6:48 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Goldstein.
Second.
Second by Ms. Shea. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 5-0. Please note for the record that Ms. Feather is not able to attend this evening, as well as Ms. Smith, who is out of town and not able to attend as well. Report out of executive session meeting. Report out of executive session meeting on 6/18/2025. Report out of executive session votes. Vote. Do I have a motion to vote to seal minutes of executive session? Do I have a motion to seal the minutes of executive session?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Goldstein,
Second.
second by Mr. Bacon. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
That passes 4-1 with Mr. Dean in the negative. Comments from the public. Do I have any comments from the public? Just state your name, your address. You have 3 minutes to speak, and we normally do not respond to public comment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Corey Blaze, 69 Crestwood Court. So good evening. I'm here to talk about the executive sessions. So executive sessions meant to be used for private matters and sensitive matters such as personal issues, contract negotiations, and legal matters. And that's understandable, but once those are concluded, the minutes are supposed to be released and there's supposed to be a follow-up for the public. And week after week, month after month, these executive sessions, the topics remain sealed. The public's left in the dark and we never hear the outcomes. When was the actual last time the executive session minutes were released? Every one of you during campaign season, at one time or another, said you support transparency and keeping the public informed. Government's supposed to be transparent. As taxpayers, residents, as parents, we deserve to know what's happening in our school system, especially when it involves decisions being made behind closed doors. So yes, executive session agendas, they're posted, but the minutes never are. And right now, it feels like everything outside the ordinary is kept private indefinitely. That's not how open government is supposed to work. So I want to make a simple request. I ask that you let the parents know, taxpayers know where you stand. Take the opportunity during public comment. Are you in favor of releasing executive session minutes once their matter is resolved, or are you against it? Because being transparent is more than just a word on a campaign flyer. It's an action. So we deserve to know if you support open government or not. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? If you don't mind just stating your name and address.
Janita Ducharme, 45 Dorothy Avenue.
Great, thank you.
My name is Janita Ducharme, and I was a music teacher for the Cumberland School Department from 2010 to 2019. I worked alongside Mike Ferrocci for many of those years. I don't know why Mike would resign from a job he loved, but I am disappointed it took this long. Since our first year together at Cumberland High School, there were signs he made poor judgment calls in regards to student safety that were reported to administration. Unfortunately, I felt none of the reports were taken seriously, including the time he assaulted me during an award ceremony in front of our students and chaperones, as well as other schools from New England. For years, I was made to feel that my concerns were overblown or dramatic, and that there wasn't enough substantial evidence to prove he was inappropriate or unsafe around students. I was recommended to keep my distance and run my program separately from him as much as possible. I'm relieved the students of Cumberland High School will no longer need to worry about his actions, And I hope the Cumberland School Department does their due diligence and ensures that students in other districts will not need to worry about his inappropriate actions either.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
Anyone else? I think you guys go first.
Please state your name.
Yeah, my name is Pat Ford. I live here in Cumberland, Rhode Island. I live on Ezek Hopkins Lane. I also am a reporter, and I spend a great deal of my time attending school committee meetings around the state. First of all, I want to make a couple corrections here. I'm going to be focusing on some of the civil libertarian aspects of this purported meeting. First of all, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an expert. I do play one on the radio, though. So I'll be following up with the Attorney General's office on this. But you, number one, did not call the meeting into order. Number two, you did not vote yourself into, or you didn't do it here in public. So you did not vote yourself into executive session. So there's a very real chance that those minutes may actually be public record. Also, you're probably in violation of the Open Meetings Act. So take that under advisement, that all of this is, as far as I can see, and some people here might laugh or they might groan. I pledged to myself years ago that I would never get involved in Cumberland politics. But it's clear both at the town council and the school committee level that the actions here are so grotesquely unprofessional that I can't help myself. I also want to point out that there's this fiction, and I'm speaking to the chair, as I should, there's this fiction that you don't have to respond or you can't respond to public comments. I'm going to read to you, all right, it's very brief, 42-46-6 notice under public Rhode Island general law. And again, nothing within this chapter shall prohibit any public body or the members thereof from responding to comments initiated by a member of the public during a properly noticed open meeting forum, even if the subject matter of the citizens' comments or discussions were not previously posted, provided such matters shall be for informational purposes only and may not be voted on except where necessary to address an unexpected occurrence that occurs, immediate action to protect the public. So what that means is, while we can't agendize anything on our comments from this meeting, you are able to respond if you so choose. So if you don't respond, it's because of your choice not to. It has nothing to do with some fictional government law that prevents you from doing so. You can't agendize, you can't vote on anything, but you can answer every single question. So it's time to, and I had to make the same correction. I'm happy to teach you lots of things, all right, in the town council. It's time to actually elevate, attorney, this body to something comparable to, I don't know, any one of the other cities. I've never, in the couple of hundred school committee meetings I've been, ever seen a body go directly into private executive session without properly introducing it, and also introducing the code under which the questions being discussed are going to be relevant. So, I don't know, maybe it's time to go to, I don't know, public meeting class, but it's my opinion, and I could be wrong, that you're definitely in violation of the spirit of the Open Meeting Act. You're probably in violation of the code, and I will pursue it with the Attorney General. So I'm not sure why it took this long to approve a resignation, but we may be able to find out. And if the allegations for the public are true, and I follow them remotely, they appear to be, this is a body that better start responding to the public. They better start doing it soon. Because people like me,
3 minutes, sir.
I've lived in town, I don't have kids in your schools. By the way, for the record, my children never attended a single day of Cumberland schools, something that has
Excuse me,
altered
sir.
their life positively. So I have nothing to fear, like some of the backdoor crap that goes on in this town.
Excuse me, sir,
Thank you.
it's been 3 minutes. Thank you. Any other public comment?
Yeah, hi. My name is Mike Delisle. I live at 4 Barberry Hill Road. My stepson, Jack Reardon, was on a school trip with Mike Ferrocci. And the only way that we found out that something was going on was by him. And we just think that maybe that there's some type of better procedure that can be used, just to say, listen, everyone's safe, everyone is accounted for and has been talked to, and there's nothing to worry about, because all we've had is really rumor over the last 2.5 weeks. Dr. Thornton was nice enough to speak with me on the phone and alleviate any fears, and I appreciate that. But we think there should have been a more formal process, maybe an email that, like, listen, we're handling this, everything's cool. I know there's laws involved and all this happy horse shit, but don't put that on Channel 12. But other than that, I appreciate your concern in this matter. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other public comment? New business, personnel announcements. Ms. Drezek?
Good evening. I have one personnel announcement this evening. Resignation effective June 11th, 2025, Michael Ferrocci, music band teacher at Cumberland High School.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Drezek.
you.
B, formal personnel matter. 1, legal advice, discussion relating to the statutorily mandated process for dismissal of tenured teachers under Rhode Island law. Mr. Adams?
So I think the school committee thought it might be helpful, perhaps as a refresher to them, but also for the public to understand what the process is for folks who work in the public schools and who work generally in government when in terms of termination or what's called adverse employment action. Typically, there is a due process that is involved in that process. And I'm a lawyer, so I'm going to use the word process a lot. But for tenured teachers, it's both a due process procedure guaranteed by the United States Constitution, and there's a statute on it. And if a teacher, any teacher, this is generic kind of advice, and just kind of awareness for the public. If any teacher finds themselves in the crosshairs of their employer, any public teacher, what typically happens is the superintendent would make a recommendation for whatever the adverse action was. It could be a written reprimand, it could be a suspension, it could be a termination, it could be anything in between. That recommendation would go to the school committee, and there would be what's called a pre-deprivation hearing where the teacher and the teacher's, typically the lawyer in a unionized situation, and Cumberland, for example, is unionized as all traditional public schools here in Rhode Island are. The teacher would have the right to have representation at that, and a decision would be made up and down whether the teacher was going to be terminated or not. After that, the teacher has the access to more process. After their rights have, or their property right, their interest in their job has been taken, they have an interest in a second hearing. After that, they can go to arbitration. After that, they can pursue the courts. At any point in that process, even before that process begins, the teacher can resign their position. And then there is no process, there is no termination, there is no recommendation. And the process is over because the person is no longer employed by the school department. I suggested to the chair this little sort of discussion of the way the employment process works and the way a termination process works would be important for the public to hear, because that process can take a long time. Or a person can resign and it's over immediately. That's it.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Adams. 2, discussion concerning former teacher Michael Ferrocci, including a statement relating to his resignation, but only if Mr. Ferrocci requests the discussion in open session, and only if the discussion is non-segregable, from the discussion of others. No action was taken.
Well, and just to clarify, that's because it was not requested to be an open session.
Correct, yes,
Yeah.
thank you. 3, votes, actions on school committee statement concerning Michael Ferrocci, including reading statement into the record. Do I have a motion that the school committee vote that drafting a statement concerning Mr. Ferrocci's resignation will shed light on the school committee and the superintendent's performance of their statutory duties under RI General Laws, Sections 16-2-9 and 16-2-11, and under applicable policies of the school committee, and that this fact outweighs any competing interests of this former teacher. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Goldstein,
Second.
second by Mr. Bacon. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 5-0. Do I have a motion that the committee issue the public statement concerning Mr. Ferrocci's resignation prepared and discussed during executive session? Do I have a motion?
Motion to issue statement.
Motion by Mr. Bacon,
Second.
second by Ms. Shea. All in favor?
Aye.
Any object? That passes 5-0. I will now read the statement that was prepared. During the week immediately following the Memorial Day holiday, the superintendent learned that former Cumberland High School teacher Michael Ferrucci may have engaged in unprofessional behavior during a school trip to New York City that took place during the Memorial Day weekend. The superintendent immediately placed Mr. Ferrucci on administrative leave, which meant he was not in school. This is standard practice in such situations. The superintendent and his team then began an investigation. After conducting interviews of staff, chaperones, and students who were on the trip, the school administration discovered that Mr. Ferrucci was in the hotel room of female high school students late in the evening for an extended period of time. In this regard, we pause to note that parents of interviewed students were aware of the fact that the interviews were being done and, for the most part, participated in those interviews. Although Mr. Ferrucci's presence in the room appeared consensual and there was no evidence uncovered of improper physical contact on this trip, Mr. Ferrucci's decision to go into the hotel room of female students late in the evening reflected conduct that the superintendent found unacceptable. The superintendent believed that Mr. Ferrucci's conduct was unbecoming of a Cumberland School Department teacher and irreconcilable with further employment. In addition, the superintendent's investigation uncovered that Mr. Ferrucci enlisted students to assist him with household tasks at his home, which in of itself reflects a boundary violation. Although the superintendent had begun the process of drafting his formal recommendation to terminate Mr. Ferrucci from his teaching position in accordance with the due process procedures accorded to tenured teachers under Rhode Island law, Mr. Ferrucci resigned his position prior to that recommendation. The school department has offered support to students who were on the trip to process the circumstances they observed or of which they became aware. The school committee thanks the school department administration for taking immediate action to investigate their concerns and also commends the brave students who came forward to provide important information. This will be our only comment on this matter. Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Goldstein,
Second.
second by Mr. Bacon. All in favor?
Aye.
We adjourn tonight at 7:06 p.m. Passes 6-0. Thank you very much.
5-0.
5-0. I apologize. Thank you for that.